Hey guys, welcome back to XDA. Ever heard of the expression, let's put a pin in that and get back to it later? Well, today we're going to take a look at an application that uses pinning to be able to switch between applications and get back to them later. Let's check it out. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to download the application. It's called PinTasking. Just want to make sure it's very clear. This is very different than the way the Android L operating system handles pinning. So you're not actually pinning an application to a screen and locking it. This is switching between applications using pins, as they describe it. We'll go into the application directly. And first thing we'll see here is the setup. Do we have the ability? Obviously, we need to go through and set up the root. It does install and download and install a helper for it to actually work, only because of the way Android L handles recent tasks. KitKat and Jelly Bean had a different process of doing it, and it doesn't necessarily have to install it. But either way, if you need it, it will mention it to you, and you can download and install it. Browser extension is the option to be able to use this to be able to pin browsers, meaning if you open a link, it'll open it up into a pinned browser and you can switch to it and back to your application. This is great for if you're ever on Google+, you're reading things and you want to open up a link, but you want to look at it and go back directly into Google+ right away. Last but not least, task switching and miscellaneous. This is just basically more of a customization. Task history, skip window animation. This is if you want to shorten it, and if you want to maybe make it a little faster. Assist action, this is basically when things that you can't do if you're at home and you want to generate a new task. So because of the way it works, it really triggers off of the top part of your screen, the way I have it set up. And we'll get to that right now real quick on how I set it up. First thing we want to make sure is to turn it on. It's under the second tab. It says in use, turn it on, auto start. The action currently I have it selected is to pin the current task, which means if I ping this down, it will pin this current task that I'm doing. So I'll bring it down all the way and then it pins it. Takes me back directly into just the setup right here as far as what we have. I was turning on the display. I wanted to make sure that I have, the display doesn't dim. So now I can just, by the touch of a button, I can switch back to my application and I can keep going what I'm doing, or I can go back directly into my settings. And then touching it again does the exact same thing. This is why this is different as far as the action. So let's just we'll close that and it goes away. And I'll change the action for it to be to switch to previous task. So all this is going to do now is just switch me back. It does the same setup, except I don't have to actually touch the button on the right. And you notice there's a sensitivity here on the right side that it comes up. So it works and it does exactly what I want it to do. I like it to be more of a pin style situation so that I'm able to get back to it, because I can change applications and still switch back to what I want it to be. Last thing here, you can customize the height, the row, the positioning. I put it at center here. You're able to go left or right. And then other than that, it's pretty simple. The pin style here, again, just to set up as far as what you want it to do. Auto remove is one of those functionalities I think are functional in the sense of if you turn off your screen, it automatically removes all the pins. If you don't want that, you can just disable that, and then that way anytime you leave, if you turn off your screen, it doesn't have to go away. So at this point I can just go back, and from home I also have it customized so that it actually takes me directly into Google+, or Google Now at least. And that's one of the functionalities you can do. I'm aware that you can still do this technically, but not all of our devices have soft keys for us to be able to do this. So if it's not one of those things, and we'll go back to that later, it's one of those things that you can actually customize, and then as long as you do it from the top, it does the same thing. As you can see, the application is very nice. It's really set up to work in the background and gives you access to the recent applications. I like the functionality to be able to open things directly into it, because I go through a lot of Google+ posts, and a lot of times I see where I'll send something and I want to open up a link, and it just opens up directly into it and it sits on the right side and I can pin and go back to it. I would have liked to be able to pin more than one thing. That would have been nice. Unfortunately, the only thing you have is a limitation of one. So you can pin to one thing, switch back and forth between the two things that you're either currently in and you want to go back to. But other than that, I think it's pretty simple. Let me know if you guys have used other applications like this on Lollipop, mostly because Lollipop changed the way we go with recent applications. It's not the same as KitKat and Jelly Bean, where we are able to basically use recent task switchers, and it just accesses all of our recent task applications going on in the background. So this is a nice approach, and I'm hoping this will have more development and we'll see more options in the near future. So as usual, like and subscribe to this channel, like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon.